This show contains views and opinions that may not be suitable for certain audiences. Listener discretion is strongly advised. A friendly reminder, Mary Jane edibles are not a substitute for actually paying your Lyft driver. Don't forget to tip your bartenders, you filthy fucking animals. And if you've got kinks, we've got links. Don't forget to subscribe, put on your seatbelt, and enjoy the ride.
Howdy, everybody, and welcome to Thespian Talk. I am your host, Gomer the Ranting Thespian. With me this week is Scolipendra.
Hello.
And we have Mel Paradise here with us. Hi, Mel.
Hello.
Yay.
Hi there. Hi.
Yeah, if you're catching this either not on the live stream or you're catching like the full recording, like edited version, yeah, we were talking about like different things we could talk about, and we do have a couple. If you're watching this on the live stream or on the video, you see the title Texan, Tleilaxu, and Woke-Queda. That's the title I went with because one happened very big in the past couple of weeks, and one we saw just this morning at the day of recording this. And interestingly enough, this goes live on like all the podcast apps and everything on 9/11, the 20-year anniversary of 9/11. Oh boy. Which, speaking of which, there is even more joyous reason to bring up the fact that it's September 11th, the day this goes up. My friend Holly's birthday is on the day this goes up, so happy birthday, Holly.
Happy birthday to my friend's having her kid right now. She's actually in active labor right now, and we don't know if he'll be here today or tomorrow, so it might be his birthday too. So happy birthday to Miranda's child.
Yay! Yeah. Babies.
Babies everywhere.
Yeah, I know, right?
You don't need to control like who's having babies and who's not having babies. Like, people can have babies, all right, shut up, go away.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I can recommend who shouldn't have kids, but ultimately I can't stop them.
Yeah, I think my friends are going to be really good parents. So
that's good. That's good. We need more good parents. But yeah, so Mel, we'll start with you. How have you been since the last time you've been on the show? Well, I know, but they don't.
Oh my goodness, it has been quite the journey. So I was dealing with some health issues, and I suppose I still am, but I got treatment fatigue. So I told the healthcare system to fuck off for the time being while I kind of work on myself a little bit. And so I started looking into alternative treatments for my situation, and I got into medicinal mushrooms. And I was like, okay. In April, myself and Miranda and Ian went up to Washington to go to Daiso and hang out. We were just talking about like life and stuff, and I was like, okay, so I guess this is what we're gonna do. I'm studying mushrooms, and I just decided, like, on the drive back, I was like, okay, so I guess the next chapter, and I was kind of in a dark place too. I was kind of depressed and kind of out of it, but I was like coming off all that shitty medication they'd put me on. But so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna study mushrooms. I'm gonna learn about mushrooms. I didn't even know how a mushroom grows. So I set out in April to start learning about mushrooms, and I got some books and I got some kits, and they were kind of successful and unsuccessful because we had a couple heat waves, so that killed the grow, and things get contaminated, and it's a very long process to learn. But it's coming along. Right now I'm growing some pink oyster mushrooms. They've kind of stalled a little bit, but they should grow here again. And then I'm going to be putting together some grow kits for this upcoming season because I think, well, first of all, learning about mushrooms has been really exciting and fun. So there's that. It's kind of like added some light to my life in an otherwise what was a sort of a poor situation mental health-wise.
Yeah.
Definitely feeling like a lot better mentally. And then I went back to Portland Saturday Market, in the midst of this global pandemic. And it's been crazy busy. I've never been this busy in my entire career. So it's weird because I'm like trying to take on this whole new like hobby/business venture. And at the same time, my main job thing is popping off too. So I've just been running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And I'm like, okay, as soon as September is done, then I can take a break and I can focus on my mushrooms. And I want to do some painting too. But yeah, it's just been crazy busy. Like I don't even know what to. I can't even rest. I'm taking time out to talk to you because I got all my orders done for this week and I'm in a comfortable spot. But it's been nonstop, and it's going to be nonstop for the holiday season too. I feel so. I've got like maybe a couple weeks in between where I can kind of rest and recuperate, and it's right back to work.
Yeah, and I will probably nag you about not overdoing it and burning yourself out because I care.
Oh yeah. Thank you. I appreciate your support. You know, I always look forward to seeing your texts when I see them pop up and all that. So.
Oh,
I try to get back to you when I can, you know. Sometimes I'm just like in my zone. When I'm working, you know, I'm just like, I'm like raging in the studio. So.
Oh, totally. Very, very understandable. Trust me, my life is full of. I believe you've called yourself an artsy babe, and so I've extended that out to pretty much everybody. So my life is
we're a
full
little
of
bit
artsy
crazy
babes.
if you hadn't noticed.
Yeah. So I mean,
we're a bit off.
Yeah, I mean, our title card is done by Becky, who is my girlfriend and very much an artsy babe. Mel, I mean,
She's
we
a
saw
babe.
these.
I like Becky because she takes care of animals, and that's super cool.
Yes. Oh, Becky is good people. And oh god, one night I was over in Rosen's stream. He's doing like Psychonauts 2, and I had just finished streaming for the day, so I didn't feel like hopping on with him, even though it's usually an open invitation. So I was like, you know what, no problem. I just want to sit in the chat and vibe a bit. Becky, however, did not have that hinderment, so she decided, you know, she's going to hop in. And I made my usual thing, whether I'm in voice or whether I'm in chat. If I see her in the thing or hear her in the thing, I'm like, it's Becky, I love her. And I did the same thing and also kind of collapsed because whatever. And Dalton, who is one of Rosen's usual followers, and he follows me too. And he's just like, Becky, your husband collapsed again. And we're both like, she didn't catch it. I'm kind of laughing. I'm like, we're not quite to that point yet. I think the most accurate way to describe it is, we like the idea, but we are nowhere near ready for it.
Common law.
Yeah. But yeah, so, whew. Scully, how have you been the past couple of weeks?
Been alright. Not much going on besides just watching shit and listening to music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As for me personally, just streaming, getting the plasma going again. I actually had to forego one plasma appointment earlier this week because my heart rate was too low, which anybody who knows anything about me knows that this is not usual. I mean, you hear me on this show and you probably think, oh yeah, that guy's got some hypertension out the wazoo. And there have been a couple of times where I had to wait like an extra 15 minutes before I could donate plasma because my heart rate was high. Okay, that's usually not a problem. But it was too low, and it was like, wait, what the fuck? But the day before this, I went and managed to fully donate, and it was fine. And even the people checking me out were like, yeah, that's weird, man. So we don't know what happened. I'm not in a position to go see a doctor about it, but it's also, you know, it's uncommon enough to where it's not too big of an issue other than just
dehydration. Probably when you drink your blood thins, you gotta remember to drink enough water when you do your drinking nights.
Oh yeah.
Get some vitamins, get some electrolytes, buddy.
Yeah, I've been trying to mix a little bit more than just pure water in my drinking habits. You know, because we got
put like a dash of salt in there. You can't even taste it, and it'll do wonders for your body.
I might consider that. Although I am using a filtered water bottle, so that might accidentally filter it back out. So, but we do have like fruit drinks.
Lemon juice is good too.
Yeah, we do have like fruit drinks and things of that nature here too. So I do have options. And I make sure to limit my alcohol consumption to very, very rarely, and I do mean rarely.
I got a confession to make. I still haven't drank alcohol since like 2017, so that's cool. But I did start drinking coffee again, and I just drank a large iced coffee. So I'm gonna be wiry here.
Oh. Oh no! Okay. Are any of you familiar with the movie Shark Attack 3?
I'm not.
With,
Is
like,
that one of those like B films? It's like one of the
yeah,
long narrative Shark Week films.
yeah, it's the one with John Barrowman.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
Okay, so basically, in one part of the movie, the two main characters they just fought off this big shark or whatever, and they're like kind of wired and everything, and John Barrowman, in just kind of a throw it in moment, not even meant to make it to the film or whatever, said, "I'm feeling kind of wired. How about I take you home and eat your pussy?" Next scene, boom, they're in the
What
shower.
is this? A Dennis Hopper film?
Sadly, no. But
Damn.
just like, and even Barrowman was like, "They kept that in the fucking movie. What the fuck?" Because he was just trying to,
But
break the
have you
ice.
seen Robo Shark though?
I have not.
It's pretty bad. It's like Birdemic levels of bad. And
No.
yeah, there's like an alien robot shark, and I think there's like an implied relationship, or like the human girl has kind of a crush on the robot shark,
Oh no.
and it's fucking weird.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
It's really bad. You should watch it. It's one of those films.
Oh lordy.
Like bad CG, fake explosions. Great.
But yeah, so yeah, okay, so we do have some big shit that happened in the past couple of weeks. Biggest one that we're going to talk about here, definitely, it's in the title. So Texas effectively passed a ban on abortions after 6 weeks. Because got to think.
Texas.
Yeah, fuck Greg Abbott in particular, and everybody who supports him.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you support him because of his anti-abortion stance. And actually, I'm still with Carlin on this one, because even back in the 90s, when he was talking about like this whole quote-unquote pro-life movement and all of that, yeah, a George Carlin bit that's still relevant after 2 decades. The devil, you say? But even nowadays, it's they're not pro-life, they're anti-woman.
It's pretty disgusting. It's pretty what do you call it? Regressive.
Yeah.
It's going backwards.
Yeah.
That's not good. I think that people should have bodily autonomy in all parts of their lives, and I think that people should stay the fuck away from bodies of women and female identifying people's reproductive situations. And there are people that identify as other genders too that have vaginas. Maybe respect those people as well.
Yeah.
And pick your words better and don't be a regressive piece of shit.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like, even if you want to be like, oh, that's a
like them's fucking fighting words. Like if you thought you saw riots before, like
I strongly believe two reasons why it hasn't happened widespread in Texas yet is 1, COVID, 2, the heat. Because it's fucking hot.
Oh, is it hot there still? I forgot it's summertime. I live in the Pacific Northwest, where we're experiencing like beautiful California weather right now, where it's like 70 degrees and slightly cloudy. It's dreamy. Yeah.
Now that amuses me, because you say California weather, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, do you mean Northern or Southern California? Because SoCal.
SoCal.
Yeah, SoCal. Well, then again, the times I've been to SoCal, I've not really been close to the ocean for the most part. So, but it's like
You were in the more deserty areas.
Deserty areas, and a little bit into LA. I've been to San Diego like once before.
That's where I grew up, actually.
Sweet.
I was born in La Mesa.
Cool.
Yeah.
But oh lordy, so yeah, it's and I've also found out something very interesting in terms of like geography. So I am in Florida, which, as we all know, is the ballless dick of the United States. And it has no balls because my friend Ari has referred to my part of Florida. We normally call it the Panhandle, but he calls it the Taint, which makes sense. And for those who don't know their anatomy, the taint is behind the balls. That's your anatomy lesson for today. So, thus, Florida, it's a dick, no balls. Kind of like our governor. Because he is a dick and he has no balls. Uh,
Hmm.
Jewish.
Death Santis, right? That
Yeah,
guy
that
sucks.
asshole. Yeah, that
That
asshole.
guy's a piece of shit.
He is. He is wanting so much to be one of those well done son guys to Trump, who will just as quickly throw everybody under the bus, and has.
You know what? I think the fact that these motherfuckers are still alive is just a testament to how far the patience of our civilization has come.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Because if this were any other decade, those dudes would have been fucking like shot by now or something. I don't mean to advocate violence against politicians, but like I'm surprised that these assholes get away with the shit that they're getting away with, considering all of the death and destruction that is followed thereby.
I mean, they play to the lowest common denominator, and
it's frustrating.
It sounds mean, but it is true. It's like, okay, what's the lowest common denominator of all these people? Okay, they're afraid of black people for whatever reason. Okay, we'll play to that sort of thing. I mean, and it's probably something that most politicians do anyway, because their goal is to get the most votes. So, They're
working like this shitty Facebook algorithms, and they're like, we can get this emotional energy if we trigger this group, that group, and whatnot. They're like emotional vampires. You just gotta like fucking drive a stake through them.
Yeah. Oh, which speaking of driving a stake through them, at the time of this recording, and by the time this goes up, probably this will be the only episode we could actually advocate for this and be able to make a difference. But I think it's by the 14th of September of 2021, California's got to have their their mail-in ballots and all that stuff mailed in for their recall election, which everybody is saying vote no, because I think they're trying to recall their governor. For whatever reason, probably some kind of Republican wine fest or something. I don't know. And that's WHINE, not the good wine. Just to be clear.
I've got half a mind to just tap out of society and go grow mushrooms in the woods. Motherfuckers gonna come and find me. Yeah.
Just it's one of those times like this. I wish we could just take all of the good people, but I would say take all the good people, put them all in one place, like, say, Nebraska or Kansas or whatever. Something flat, something open. That has enough variable weather to make a difference. And then,
fuck that! Let's buy drugs and go to Belize.
We can do that too. Oh, but yeah. So to get back to Abbott in Texas. Because this is big fucking shit here. Because that went into law on the 1st of September, and of course groups are already fighting against it, and even the Satanic Temple is like, that's going to go against our spiritual beliefs, which in a working society that would work. If you want to have that freedom of religion. But as we all know, freedom of religion, when used by the United States government, is freedom of the Christian religion, or the religion of the rich white asshole. That's typically what it means.
Conservatives would lose their shit if they knew the kind of magic I've been fucking with.
Oh, they would lose their shit anyway. They would lose their shit anyway because you are a woman with control of her body.
Yeah, and then some.
Yep.
Yeah. Just and it's the same kind of people that will lose their shit with like the sex workers and all of that, who are just out there and they're open. They're like, hey, I enjoy doing this.
You mean whose husbands are out there like fucking paying those sex workers anyways?
Yeah. It's like, I mean, it's like, maybe if you make it a little less taboo, there wouldn't be so many issues. And hey, you know what? They'll still get paid. You just
keep people safe, get people paid, let people do shit. Like, just fucking...
Yeah.
Society's going to do what it wants, whether you like it or not. And laws are going to get passed either way. These systems are dynamic. They're not going to stay in one place. And these people that think that, the world's just going to be static, like, well, sorry, that's not how that works.
Yeah. The world is not your fucking holy book. It does not stay static. It just doesn't. And even your fucking holy books Even your fucking holy books, and I use that term broadly because Christianity, while it is the big one here, not the only religion to pull shit like that, but just because, you have a static story, whether it's your holy book or not, doesn't mean that the rest of the world is going to be just as static. I mean, hell, look at the individual...
It's all allegory anyways.
Yeah. I mean, hell, look at the individual life of a person. I'm pretty sure all three of us, 10, 20 years ago, were definitely different people than what we are now, for better or for worse.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we are dynamic creatures by default.
That's right.
And to try and put everybody into this little slot here, oh, you have to be this, you have to be that. No, fuck you. Like just even 5 years ago, you probably could have been like, well, he does the licensing for the truck, so he should keep doing that. No, I did that for a means to an end, and I ended up getting out of it because it was taking too much of a toll on my mental health. Because I don't know about you guys, but if you spend most of your mornings waking up to get ready for your job and you're in damn near tears and overwhelmed, that's not healthy. It's not.
I know, I'm trying to get through that this month.
Yeah. It's like...
It's too much.
Yeah. So it's like, and I had the opportunity. In fact, I even told them, hey, look, I still want to work with the company. I just don't want to drive. They took it as a full-on, we're quitting. And it was like,
so is that what happened? Dang.
yeah. So it's like, what the fuck, y'all? Come on.
Give this man a phone job.
Yeah.
He's got the voice for it.
Yay! Phone job. Hell, I've actually been practicing with like things like Excel and Word and everything, and it's like, hey, and I know how to keep and maintain a budget. Well, create and maintain and keep a budget. I can plan for that kind of shit too. But you don't have a degree. Don't fucking need one. I have the experience, asshole. And in my eyes, just having that knowledge, and granted for me it's on a personal level, but that can easily be put up to a more professional level. It's just extra steps.
Right.
So
yeah, if you already know how to do something, I hate that some employers still like, you need a degree for this, that, and the other, and it's like, but I'm already like leaps and bounds ahead of what you're asking. I'm overqualified for this job. How dare you? It's just like, it's very frustrating, yes, but it's part of life, I guess.
Yeah. And even now, like the first year afterward, I had a bunch saved up, and that was fine. And now I'm having to make sure I have things keeping afloat, which with plasma it's helped, and I'm streaming more to try and build up that particular audience too, and hopefully get to that point. But even between all of that, I'm still trying to find some other work, either whether it's in Chicago, what have you. And the amount of people that is like, okay, it's basically a desk job. Oh, you need a bachelor's for this. Fuck you.
Go work for an answering service. Isn't there like a 911 shortage right now? You could go be a dispatcher and go save lives.
Yeah, that may not be an idea. I also wouldn't mind being a dispatcher for like a trucking company, because I can use that experience and know how to get to help things flow and everything. But
oh yeah, since you already know all the lingo and all that.
Yeah, and I understand that drivers do need that period of rest. I know not to overwork my drivers.
Word.
Yeah, so it's like, or force them into situations that they may not be good or comfortable at.
Start your own company, Gomer, be the next big thing.
See, that thought has crossed my mind too. But with the way I want to set it up, it's going to take at least a couple $1 million.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Go find me.
I honestly have tinkered with that idea. So it's not outside the realm of possibility. But I'm getting off track again. We're talking about Texas. So in response to Abbott and his thing, we mentioned the Satanic Temple and all of that. It made it up to the Supreme Court, which, by the way, was packed with conservatives during Trump's era, thanks to fucking Mitch McConnell being the cheating bastard that he is. First of all, denying Obama his appointed pick during like the last year and a half of his term, right up until the goddamn election. because, oh, we shouldn't do that. But yet ramming Amy Coney Barrett through for Trump's last appointee right up until the 2020 election. And I realize I phrasing on some of that part there. But so you have a mostly conservative Supreme Court now, and I'm talking on the federal level. So, of course, it made it up there, and they're like, no, we're not going to interfere. So it's like, because they're all conservatives, and they all want the same thing, too. They want to control women's bodies, you know?
Well, they can want all they want, and they can fuck off into a fiery pit.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Even with this thing in place, women are still going to, and I say women, but do bear in mind, I do include, like, you know, your trans men who still have functioning uteruses, non-binary people, etc. Just saying women for the simplicity of it. They are still going to have abortions anyway. They're just not going to do it safely. You dumb, stupid fucks. Women are dying from abortion. Yeah, because you don't give them a chance. You're not giving them a place to do it safely. Well, they shouldn't have sex. No. You should be allowed. Any of us here should be allowed to go out, have sex with whoever we want, and the only consequences we should have to face are personal ones. We should not have to be judged by the government. We should not have to be judged by our neighbors. If Susie Q track record, I don't know where that last name comes from, decides to go out and bang half the city of New York, that's great, you know? You do it safely, and hey, if something happens, you deal with the consequences, whatever it is, positive or negative. That's fine. More power to you. But the government should not be telling you, no, you should keep your legs closed, because then you don't have to have an abortion. But yet I've also seen people, like, yeah, at least jokingly say, well, all men should have to get a vasectomy then until they're ready to have a baby. And guess what a lot of the the right-wing reactions to that would be. Just guess.
Yeah, oh no, you can't do that. No.
Don't touch my dick.
Yeah, because apparently you can't mess with our equipment, but we can mess with women's equipment all day long. It's like, no, assholes. Women are just as autonomous as men are. You just don't want to admit it because you're clinging on to old beliefs that you say come from a 1,000-year-old text. Or 2,000.
It's funny because, like, they act like this shit hasn't been going on for thousands and thousands of years. Like, ain't nothing changed. You people are just being assholes.
Yeah, it's just it's and these are some of the same people that would be like, you know, the conservative right in this country especially are a bunch of bullies. They want their way, and they're willing to do anything they can to get to it. Up to and including shaming, and even, there are even abortion bounty hunters that are probably going to start popping up. Because one of the provisions of this thing was like, yeah, we'll pay you $10,000 if you inform on somebody that's trying to get an abortion.
You bitches need hobbies.
Right? Like, there are millions of
Do
video games
nice
out there.
For your community.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Go read a book. Like, grow a mushroom. Touch grass.
The thing is, except for the mushroom, they probably do 2/3 of that. And they still shitheads. Maybe it's the kind of books they're reading. Like you motherfuckers, y'all ever read Dune and it's the other Dune novels and not take away something other than, oh, it's possibly a white savior story. First of all, it's not a white savior story, but that's a whole thing for another time. But these are the kind of people who get to the points in the Dune novels where it's revealed that the Tleilaxu, they are a race of outwardly only men. They do have women, but their women are lobotomized and turned into living wombs.
Gross.
Yeah, it is. And it is presented as gross and horrifying, as it should be. Both Frank and his son Brian, who's continued on the series after Frank's death, make this clear that, yeah, this is wrong. This is like very wrong. But I think some of these conservatives read that and be like, oh, we can do that, you know? And it's like, no. That's just, it would be one thing And see, even with that, and it kind of ties into the thing here. If you want to be nothing but a broodmare for your husband or for your state or what have you, that should be your choice to do so. That's the whole choice in pro-choice. You want to do that? Fine. You want to be Michelle? You want to emulate Michelle Duggar and pop out kids so often that you could potentially turn your womb into a ballistic missile factory? Sure, go ahead. That's on you. You can do that. But it's not your place nor mine to say that somebody else has to do the same with theirs. You know.
Yep.
Like it's not my place to tell anybody that I'm involved with that you have if you get pregnant you have to have that kid. You don't have to. You simply don't. And at 6
My
weeks,
body is a temple. I'll choose who visits and who's not allowed to.
damn straight. And if she chooses you to visit that temple, you better respect.
Right. Better bring offerings.
There you go. Oh, I offer you mushrooms and sushi. There you go.
Dope. That's the best. You got it.
Yay!
You have been granted access.
Hooray! Oh. But,
See how easy that was?
Yeah. It's like consent and autonomy right there, all in one. Boom. So, and I know
you do the thing, and everybody's happy.
Yeah. So, and then of course you got the people, but dims to babies. Okay, at 6 weeks, it's a cluster of nerves. It's a cluster of cells, basically. It's not a human.
Hey, did you know in the actual Bible it says life starts at the first breath?
Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck these so-called Christians are talking about. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, these same people that try to use the Bible to justify their anti-abortion stance. And it's just like, no, but it says you shouldn't kill. No, it says you shouldn't murder.
I mean, and if you want to go deeper into it, we can start looking at other religions too, wherein it's not even about the biology so much as like everybody's just an emanation from some higher, entity or something. And so it's like, if we believe in some kind of metaphysical existence, then that shit doesn't even fucking matter. So what the fuck are they talking about?
Right?
What is their argument if they believe in this fucking magical thinking or whatever the fuck that they're on about?
Yeah, and the thing is, I think Judaism, I think it is one of those that says, hey, you know what? You need to get an abortion, go get it. Like we understand, duh. Like,
yeah, they're also like practice magic, and I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah, because they're a lot more loose with certain aspects of
what is
rules.
Everybody's problem that are like trying to push these agendas or whatever? What is their problem with people being self-empowered? What are they afraid of if people do have autonomy?
I think in the case speaking in the case of American conservatism and Republicans and all of that, they're afraid of losing their white saviorism advantage shit. White supremacy and all of that.
They lost that a long time ago. We're already a global world. People gotta just, suck it up, buttercup.
Yeah, but they don't want to do that because I'm white and I should have to. No, fuck you. I don't care if you're white. And hey, guess what? This podcast right here, this setup right here, trio of pasty white fucks here. And I think we all can agree.
I'm super pasty, yeah.
Yeah. And I think we can all agree that no, white supremacy has no place. In fact, just I think it was like yesterday, the day before, that they finally took the statue of Robert E. Lee down in Richmond. I think it should be destroyed, if not put in a museum. See, a museum you go to learn. And you have to remember your history, and that's fine. So if you want to have something to show what he looked like or what have you, you put that in a museum, you put that in a textbook, and you say, hey, you know what? Yeah, Robert E. Lee, yeah, he did like heroic stuff for the country before the Civil War, but then he turned traitor because he wanted to fight for the side that wanted to keep black people in bondage and against the United States. And I think even Lee realized that at the end, be like, yeah, I realize that. And in fact, if Lee was alive today and he saw all these monuments to him and the reasons why they're going up, he'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I was a traitor. Like, oh my God. But that's not the point they want to make. The point they want to make is, to have all of these Confederate traitors put up because they want to make sure that black people are kept in their place, quote unquote. That's their reasoning behind it. God.
These assholes need to get out of the way of progress.
Yeah, and it starts with people like Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis, who I haven't seen much in the way of it yet, but I've heard rumors that he's going to try the same thing here in Florida. And yeah, no, give me like several cartons of eggs. I will egg his house. Be like, yeah, your house is covered in abortions now, asshole. Oh, how do you like that? This is the same. DeSantis is the same guy who wants it. I think it is legal now. Like, you can run over protesters and get away with it.
Yeah. How about you don't fucking murder your constituents, you piece of shit?
Yeah, because COVID numbers are going up. In fact, it's to the point. I have one of these LED masks. I know I showed Mel, but
yeah, I saw it. It's cute.
Yeah, currently. The message I have running across it is wear your mask so you don't spread the COVID. Being nice. I'm not gonna pull out the curse words unless somebody pisses me off. At least out in public. Here, I'll curse all I want. Shit, piss, fuck, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits. There you go. But yeah. And if you clicked into the stream and you're surprised at the language and the stuff we're being talked about, well, I mean, if it's your first time here, you're told that it's for mature audiences. It's marked that way.
Edgy.
So you were warned. And if you're a kid in here and you're listening to this, first of all, we're your parents, and two, good, keep listening. We might give you some good ideas.
Let me see your Fortnite dance.
Yes.
There you go. But yeah, just goddamn. So I think at the end of the day, conservatism, as it is now, as seen by the Republican Party, it's a disease. It needs to be cured. And no, Nancy Pelosi, we do not need the Republican Party anymore. We have outgrown the need for the Republican Party, and quite frankly, most of the Democrats too. But that's for different reasons.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
I think we need decentralized systems.
To a degree. I mean, we gotta have at least one sort of thing to keep us all bound together. But decentralize at least to a point.
Being human isn't that, Gomer? Gomer, simply being a human on the planet Earth is not enough.
It should be. Honestly, it should be. But
Jesus Christ.
Oh, but yeah. So. Before we go on to our break, Scully, do you have anything you want to add to all of this? I think Mel and I have been kind of overpowering you here.
Yeah, well, man, yeah, I'm very pro-choice, and the ridiculous thing is, the anti-choicers are calling it, oh yeah, it's a heartbeat ban, or like, oh yeah, 6 weeks is when a fetus has a heartbeat. Well, it's an embryo, and that heartbeat is just like an electrical pulse that of cells, and that heartbeat that they're hearing is just the ultrasound machine detecting the electrical pulse.
Yeah.
So it's like they're just using this emotional language to try and manipulate people. People need to just start using scientifically, medically accurate terminology. I mean,
True that.
Yeah.
Okay, like abortion is not killing a baby. It's not the damn same thing. And man, just stay out of people's uteruses.
Yeah.
It's gonna ruin so many lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't go into somebody's uterus unless they want you there. And if they want you there, then
Right.
wow. That'd be a hell of a fit. And from what I understand about that particular anatomy, if you're hitting the uterus in that moment, then, well then.
I feel like these people have really uncreative sex lives.
Yeah. I mean, I will admit mine is not the most creative, but you know what? I'm also not out there telling people what they should and shouldn't do with their bodies unless it affects me.
Right.
You know, and I'm looking at you, anti-vaxxers.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that affects everybody. Get fucking vaccinated. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Use your critical thinking skills.
But we don't
Or
trust the
otherwise,
government. Yeah.
I'm so late.
Yeah. But we don't trust the government. And it's like, well, whose fault is that? Actually, Trump. It's one of those things where it's been a joke where you don't trust politicians for years, but Trump just made it so much worse.
Yeah, you just... I don't know, maybe people shouldn't base their lives on their political fucking leanings or whatever, you know? Like, there's a whole lot in this world. That's not it, you know?
Yeah. Just... Anyways, we're going to go ahead and take our break, and when we come back, Woke-Queda. Oh, lordy. So, stick around. Hey folks, we'll get back to the show in a moment, but first I want to tell you about Patreon. Patreon is what I use to get around all of the YouTube adpocalypse bullshit, and while I don't have a lot right now, every little bit does help. And if you like what you hear or what you see on any of my videos or podcasts, head on over there. For as little as $1 a month, you can get all of these things early before anybody else does, and you can get them completely ad-free. Yeah, I know YouTube right now is technically ad-free, but at some point, I'm probably going to get big enough to where ads will start coming in, and those can be annoying, so you want to avoid that, right? If you go ahead and go now over to patreon.com/Gomer21XX, leave $1, $5, doesn't matter how much, you can get all of these. Again, you can get them early, and you get them without ads, even when I reach the point on YouTube to where ads can be put on these videos. So it's a win-win. And you can even avoid the ads that go up on the Anchor versions that go out to all of the other websites that are out there. No ads. It's great. So that's patreon.com/Gomer21XX.
And now, an important message from Tyler Green, Kitty Quinn, and Randy Martin.
Are you tired of asking yourself if that obscure show or movie you watched once was a fever dream?
Is it still in your brain to this day as a 3 a.m. channel-changing hallucination? Well, join us as we yank that said memory out of your subconscious while we do a deep dive on it on Channel KRT.
Channel KRT is a new bi-weekly podcast where we look at the best and worst of obscure media. We'll be covering such topics as...
The Puzzle Place.
Clown TV.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the TV show.
Reanimated.
The Weird Al Show.
We Sing.
And more. Join us every other week over at Spotify, YouTube, Anchor, and wherever podcasts can be heard. Channel KRT, cut to static.
Hey y'all, want to watch some anime? I haven't seen this one.
Oh, good idea. I've been meaning to watch this one.
Hey, can we watch this one? I was distracted.
Ignoring how easily Gomer is distracted by booty, how about this one?
Alright. How about this? Let's just pick one and watch one episode a week. We can even talk about it on a podcast. It's random, it's anime. What should we call it?
Randome. Check out Randome. Recorded every week at twitchtv.com/Rosenthorn.
TwitchTV.com.
And available... Oh, good lord.
This is all staying in.
Howdy, everybody, and welcome to this little segment that I put in between the breaks here. If you watch it live, you don't get this. I think one live show I tried to implement this, but it didn't go off as well as I would like. But who knows? I might try it again. But for now, you get this in the full finished recording. The live show is fun. I like having Mel on. Mel is such a treat. It helps that I'm quite fond of her personally too. So, as mentioned, you see it in the title card. Oh, just Woke-Queda. What the fuck? I mean, we get into it a little bit. We'll get into it in a little bit, but it's like this serves as a warning because it's like, like 9/11 stuff. I know how sensitive people can be about it, and hell, there's some points where it's like, it's an uncomfortable truth to confront what we talk about, but it's one of those that really we need to talk about it, and it needs to be confronted and recognized for what it is. And the fact is, it's both tragic and basically the result of America fucking around and then finding out. So that's the basic premise of it all. Tangents and everything. But yeah, so not much for this one. I just wanted to put this in here just to kind of give a forewarning. Is like, yeah, we're gonna go places in 9/11 that people are not gonna find comfortable. Hell, like I said, there are some things that it's not comfortable to admit, but you got to admit it. And also, we do go off on like anti-vaxxers and everything. And I do want to note here that I forgot to note in the show itself. We do refer to anti-vaxxers, just overall people who don't get vaccinated or what have you, just in a broad sense. If you are somebody who is listening and you're medically unable to get a vaccination or what have you, because you might have a bad allergic reaction or what have you, then you're obviously not included in that. Covering my ass now because I forgot to when we recorded the second segment. So yeah, that's it for this. Hope y'all. I want to say enjoy the rest of the show, but it's quite heavy, especially since this comes out to the public on the 20th anniversary of 9/11. Yeah, sorry, but we try. So yeah, thanks for listening, and here's the rest of the show. And we are back from our break, and yeah, I teased about it. It's in the title, and I saw this retweeted from a guy called Sean Vids, I think is his Twitter handle, and he's one of those YouTubers that does a lot of the essays and all of that. I think some people would call them bread tubers, but I kind of shy away from that one because it's just weird, because it's not about bread. No, but he retweeted this article from Spiked, which, by the way, if you have the Shinigami Eyes installed on your on your browser or whatever, it can show you who is trans-friendly and who is anti-trans, based on different colors. And for me, this Twitter account for Spiked comes up as anti-trans. Take that with a grain of salt, because, well, you gotta take it with a huge grain of salt, because the article they tweeted out was entitled "When the Politics of Victimhood Turned Violent." Oh, so the Crusades? Would that count? I don't know if that would count, but then again, I've noticed over the years that when it comes to Americans, especially like conservative Americans, I've likened them to bullies before, and it's not much different even in this case here, that bullies always try to turn out to make themselves out to be the victim when they are attacked back.
Yep.
Like, how dare you, blah, 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 blah. So.
Oh, you mean like what happened in Oregon this last week when one of the journalists, or I guess one of the activists, got attacked by one of the right-wing people at one of the rallies, and the dude, actually I don't know the details. Some people were saying that he shot himself in the foot, but which I hope would be the case. That shit would be hilarious. But the dude might have been shot by somebody else. But yeah, if you are, a group of 20 some odd grown ass men chasing a woman down an alleyway, of course you're gonna get shot. You're being a fucking dumb bitch. Yeah. What the fuck did you think was gonna happen? You think there's not consequences for your stupid fucking actions? Leave people alone, you dumb fucks.
Yeah.
So frustrating. I'm sorry. It makes me angry to see people that I don't know them personally, but people that I'm familiar with, being attacked in the street. This has got to fucking stop. This is bullshit.
I agree. It's like there's no reason for it. And hey, if you're chasing after somebody with the intent of attacking them and you get shot or beaten or whatever, that's on you. That's called consequences, asshole.
Yep.
Yeah. That dude wasn't even supposed to be at any rallies right now, too. Those motherfuckers, I know, half those motherfuckers are, on probation. They're not supposed to be anywhere near any of that shit. And the government here is just letting it happen. Like, it's no big fucking deal. It's all just like a fucking theatrical game to them, and it's like affecting people's actual lives, and it's fucked up.
Yeah. Just, and then every time I hear some of these fucking, these bullies go on about how we shouldn't have attacked us back. You're just as bad as us. And it's like,
shut the hell up.
Just shut the hell up.
It's not the same.
Yeah, it's just no. But anyways, the tweet itself reads, "People forget just how woke Al-Qaeda was." Woke, really? Bin Laden was an environmentalist. He believed in cancel culture, and he embraced the Islamist policies of victimhood. 9/11 was a hyper-violent form of identity politics, says Brendan O'Neill, who is the author of the article. I did take the liberty and went and looked at the article in an incognito window, and oh my fucking god. Just, first of all, it's a long-ass read. Like, I just copy-pasted all of the text into it, and it's like 4.5 pages.
Oh.
I was like, Jeebus! We probably won't hit on all of them. You guys know the account it comes from. If you want to go and look it up yourself, that is fine, but we are not going to cover every aspect of this article here.
Right.
But, here, 20, it starts off, 20 years on from 9/11, Osama bin Laden is still viewed as the ultimate evil outsider. Probably, but I mean, because he did directly attack America, but then again, I guess, obviously we've moved on from whoever was the prime minister, or king, or emperor, whoever it was in Japan when Pearl Harbor happened. So it just took a long time, and anime helped. The foreign enemy who brought death and destruction to America, the implacable foe of the West and of modernity more broadly. I cannot read that word for some reason. The footage of modernity, not to be confused with maternity, which is a whole different topic. Footage of him in modest dress. I was about to say a modest dress. And humble surroundings in some holdout in Afghanistan, belying his Saudi origins and his vast wealth, contrasts with the gleaming opulence and swagger of the city he sent his men so savagely to attack on 11th September 2001. This guy must be English or Australian. And yet the truth about bin Laden and about 9/11 itself has always been more complicated than this. In many ways, bin Laden was as much of the product of the West, and in particular of its politics of grievance, as he was its most feared terroristic enemy. His reign of terror can be seen as a violent manifestation of what has since come to be known as wokeness. Okay. That is just the first paragraph, by the way.
Oh, God.
And while there can be
Wasn't he also like a terrible misogynist as well?
Yeah.
Nothing woke about that, fam.
Yeah. No, nothing at all. And hey, you know who else are horrible misogynists too? Christian fundamentalists.
Yeah.
Gee, it's almost like Christian fundamentalists and Islamic fundamentalists, which is what bin Laden was, have more in common than you think.
Yep.
It's almost like they might all be terrorists.
Yeah. I mean, hey, and we've seen Christian terrorists. Charlottesville is a major example of white Christian terrorism happening, or at least white terrorism. So and let's see, the whole idea behind like 9/11. At its core, it's basically a bunch of pissed off fundamentalist Muslims flew planes into the Twin Towers. That is probably the most simplistic way to put it. But I started to think about it. It's like, okay, what would have caused an attack on America? Because in most circumstances, you're not likely going to go and just attack somebody for the lulz. You're likely going to have some reason.
Arms deals.
Huh?
I said arms deals.
There's that, yeah.
Weapon sales.
Yeah. And in terms of America in general, how long have we been thrusting our dick into the Middle East for oil? Against the wishes of everybody there? unless they're kissing
Man,
America's ass.
Big oil is over. Fuck big oil. We need fucking natural energy. It's around us all the time, always. We have the answers. It's just these fucking assholes won't implement it.
Because they want their
Or,
money.
pass the policies. Yeah.
Hey,
Like, we have the technology. It's not a big fucking mystery.
Yeah. Solar power, wind power, hell, even nuclear power. Which I've seen that tossed around a bit too. And, but if it blows up, yeah, well, that's why we have safety features. And how often do you hear about nuclear meltdowns? Very rarely, actually. And even then, the last one I heard about, everybody was okay. As far as I know. And if anybody died from it, it wasn't because of the nuke. So it's like, yeah, Chernobyl is an anomaly in comparison. All right. So yeah, and I know.
I'm sorry to come back to this, but in Chernobyl, they have got like radioactive animals and plants and stuff, and there was a fungus there that evolved that can actually eat like radioactive substance or the radioactivity. Yeah, so like there's a specific fungus that's actually like eating the radioactivity from that area.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look into it. Really fascinating stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But with the way the United States has, again, like I said, been sticking their dick over into the Middle East for oil or for whatever reason, for perceived slights or what have you, yeah, somebody was bound to retaliate. Now, that's not to say that it wasn't tragic, that it wasn't horrific. What happened on 9/11 back in 2001, yeah, 20 years, holy shit. It's not to say that it isn't horrific, but what we were doing over there was just as horrific. We were the bullies. There's no doubt about it. Where it's like, oh, we need oil, we're going to come take it. Boom. Never mind anything else. They grease the palms of the people with the power, and the people on the bottom are just like, oh, well, we're fucked.
Never mind that there's human lives at stake.
Yeah. So it's like, so of course we have basically been the biggest bullies. I mean, I didn't like Parker and Stone make a whole movie based around America being the policing the world and how fucked up and bullshit that's supposed to be. Yeah. So it's like, so of course they're gonna retaliate, and yeah. Again, I want to reiterate the fact that they took out 3,000 innocent American lives is horrific. That is horrific. But at the same time, you got to understand that, yeah, it's kind of, it's one of those things where it's like when the victim slaps back at the bully, except this time the slap also took out 3,000 additional lives. So, and it's just, and I remember how I felt that day. I was mortified. I was like, I do not want to go to war. That would just be no. Thankfully, most of us never did, but it's just, what in the absolute fuck, and
yeah, how many lives besides the people that died in the incidents, all the people, all the troops and stuff that were sent over there, that shit fucks people up. Those people are coming from all different backgrounds and stuff, and like a lot of people come back with PTSD. They don't have the systems in place to get the support that they need, and then they go on to hurt other people.
Yeah.
And like I was in a situation where I was in a sort of toxic relationship with somebody for too long, and somebody who had been deployed twice, and they were very just not in a good place mentally. So of course that didn't work out. But people, I got to see firsthand what the bullshit actions of others, what it does, and like the how those effects dissipate into society, and how lives are affected directly by the actions of those kinds of people. To see the whole system laid out and all the different perspectives. To see it like that, it's very heartbreaking. It sucks, but you can't just send people off into these conflicts and not expect it to have some kind of detrimental effect on your own society. You all start these wars and you don't even know the fucking rules of war, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
you gotta fucking take care of the humans first. Stop fucking around. Like,
Yeah,
you're hurting your own people.
Yeah, because without the humans, you don't have a war.
You don't. Yeah, you have nothing. You have nothing without the people that make up your society, your kingdom, your whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah.
You know.
And regardless of how bad, you know, Bin Laden and Al Qaeda in particular were in life, you know, I don't think I'm going to be able to change my mind on this one. 9/11, again, horrific as it was at least, you know, coming from their perspective, is basically like, hey, you keep fucking us over, we're going to fuck you over back.
Mm-hmm.
Is basically what it was. You know, you take out some of our innocents, we're going to take out some of yours. Which, the fact that it's a bunch of innocents is very tragic in all of that, but, yeah, you know, and it is not a comfortable feeling to say, because at the same time, it's like, these are still innocents. Nobody should have had to die for any of this on either side. But at the same time, you do have to understand that, yeah, it's understandable. Again, the victim slapping back at the bully.
Mm-hmm.
So to go back to this article a little bit, on the anniversary of 9/11, it's worth reflecting, for the millionth time, no doubt, on just how unusual this act of barbarism was. Unusual, you say? How unusual is it for us to go over and, like, just, you know, our soldiers, you know, or at least the ones that are not decent people, going over there and raping and pillaging, murdering people just because they're brown, getting excited because they get to shoot brown people? That's barbaric, you know. They're blowing up buildings, they're blowing up places, you know, that's barbaric. They're helping Israel try and genocide Palestine, that's barbaric, you know. Despite a rush of commentators in 2001 shamefully claiming that the attack on the Twin Towers and the Pentagon was violent payback for America's geopolitical crimes, it was. Hindsight is a thing. It was. Yeah, just you know, and
You know what? I'm sorry to cut you off there. I got excited for a minute when I heard you mention this article, because I thought it was going to be about people doing drugs and, like, on the infected cicadas, because you said, like, what was it, Woke-Queda? And so I was like, oh, people are, like, getting high on the cicada bugs, but no, it was something totally different.
Oh, I wish that would be so much better. That would be so much better. People go get high on cicada bugs.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it. They're all full of fucking bad stuff. Bad. Go grow a mushroom instead.
Yeah. and just watch next. What the fuck is wrong with you? And out of Florida, some jackass decided to get high on cicada bugs. Oh, poor Nash.
Good at bath salts.
So he does note in this article that there were no demands, no lists of complaints, no requests to release certain prisoners, or to remove Western armies from certain countries. Yeah. So it's like, I don't remember if there were any kind of list of demands or what have you at the time. I really don't. I couldn't tell you. Probably because I was too busy panicking. And then getting back into doing the show we were doing for that season. But just, it was just like, yeah, no fucking shit. They don't need to, because it should be self-evident. Again, the victim slapping the bully back. Like, and from what I understand, the U.S. could have stopped it, but they didn't for whatever reason. You know, and that could be its own rabbit hole, but yeah, I talked over you a bit, Mel. What were you going to say?
Huh? Oh, I just said profits. I was just commenting.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
mind me.
Oh, okay. So let's see. It mentions 2 weeks after the attack on September 28th, he made statements suggesting that America had attacked itself. And this was after Bin Laden initially disavowed responsibility for 9/11. Um, it's like, oh wow. So not only did he lead the charge into it, but he's also like, yeah, y'all did it yourself. And it's like, but still, again,
to be fair, America does a lot of rake stepping.
Yeah, we do. We do. I mean, it's like they fucked around, they found out. And that's basically what it was. And maybe if bin Laden had that kind of language available to him at the time, because I don't think fucking around and found out was widely used phrase by that point.
No.
So if he had that particular terminology on hand, he'd be like, well, you fucked around, you found out. There you go.
I think people at that point in time were still using edgy slurs.
Yeah, and Islamophobia, Muslimphobia went to an all-time high in this country after that, and I'm pretty sure most everybody who is old enough to remember that, and definitely, old enough to...
I mean, just in general, the language online back then was a lot less tolerant, not just of people like races and stuff, but like genders and whatnot. A lot of that stuff is a lot more accepted now, but back then it was like the Wild West on the internet, man. It was very much a time.
Yeah.
I definitely had a time, all right.
Oh, yeah.
There's some things you just don't Google. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, just... Oh, so, yeah, let's see. Looking down. And so, he's noting that when bin Laden did, like, his statements, throughout the 2000s and up until 2011 when he was executed, he's noting that the leaders of Al-Qaeda and everything were talking as though, I'll just read the thing directly. When its leaders spoke of traditionally Arab concerns, such as the subjugation of Palestine or the invasion of Iraq, they did so in the language of humiliation and degradation, and such intensely personal feelings are not elements in realpolitik. Rather, they suggest its opposite: the reduction of a politics of needs, interests, and ideas to the world of moral sentiments. For Osama bin Laden, violence is meant to not merely to defend Muslims or retaliate against their enemies, but to gain self-respect. So it's like, yeah, you're kind of, it's like you keep getting your ass kicked. Like, I mean, we've all been bullied to one degree or another throughout our lives. I'm pretty sure. And the more you keep getting, and maybe your experiences might be slightly different, but the more you keep getting bullied, the more you keep getting knocked down or whatever, it's hard to get back up again. And if you can't get back up, then you're seen as not having that much respect for yourself or whatever. And you might even think that at the same time. And so what's the way to gain self-respect? Well, being stronger than the bully, showing that the bully is not invincible. So, and if you have one bully that's continually knocking you down and making you eat dirt, literally or figuratively, and you can't think of any other way, you can't reason with them, you can't do anything else with them, the only thing they would understand is a sock to the jaw. So it's like, and bear in mind, Al-Qaeda, as far as I know, as far as I'm understanding, are still terrorists. They still pulled a terroristic act. This all ties into the whole idea of, the victim of the bully slapping back. So it's like, again, Al-Qaeda, yeah, terrorists, sure. But at the same time, what we see as terrorists, they're seeing themselves as, hey, we actually are fucking victims, and if you look at the data, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
You were just sick of your shit. Leave us alone.
Yeah. And yeah, what they may do to their own people also can fall into terrorism. Let's not forget that these are fundamentalists, and thus, therefore, they're wanting to subjugate women. They're wanting to subjugate people who are not them. That is still terroristic, yes. And that is something that should be addressed and should be called out, preferably by people of their own community. And with people who are willing to help them and support them. But
Yeah, I don't
not
think it's up to other countries to impose their sort of systems of governments on other countries, really.
yeah. It's like the people. I don't want to say the people would have to want it, because I'm pretty sure by and large, the people who want it, there are people who want it, but at the very same time, unless they ask for help or obviously need the help, keep your hands off. If they aim to give them knowledge, give them stuff to enhance the brain power, enhance the mind. Smuggle in copies of Frank Herbert's Dune. There you go. Something like that. There. And if they decide, hey, we're gonna have to fight, then give them weapons, train them, which supposedly was one of the things that America was supposed to do over there for the past 20 years. Look how well that went, because it's either Al-Qaeda or the Taliban is back in control of Afghanistan. And rolling things back like a motherfucker. To which all the white Republicans are like, well, damn, I wish we could do that. And not for a lack of trying on their part.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
I live in a state where I have to see those crazy white wing extremist groups going through, the street, like on streets where I work and shit, and I'm watching this in a stream to make sure that myself and neighbors are safe, and I'm like, why the fuck are these people in our neighborhood? Why are these people doing this? What is their fucking end game? What is the fucking point of this? Why are they trying to terrorize just normal ass citizens trying to go about their fucking day? Sir, I'm an artist, a craftsperson, and a merchant. I'm not here trying to fucking start fights with people with guns.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I'm just trying to get by.
Yeah, just and there could be an argument to be made for some people who need to be fucked with, but it's usually the people who are also trying to fuck with other people unnecessarily. Like, for example, go fuck with DeSantis. Because he's...
Yeah, go fuck with the mayor. Oh, wait, you're on his payroll. Damn.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, and for clarity's sake, she's referring to Portland's mayor, not my mayor.
May as well be. They're all spreading the same terrorist garbage.
Yeah, well, I could tell you one thing. If the mayor of my city did that, I could just go in the other room and just scream at him, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Oh yeah, not the mayor of your city. Your city's mayor's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Daddy-o.
There you go. Yeah, just motherfucking hell. Now, Scully, I know you were taking notes before we started this.
I've been doodling.
Yeah. What do you have?
All right, so the reason the Middle East is in the fucking situation it's in is because we kind of, back in the 60s and 70s, we kind of just fucked things up for them.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the article was going all... Oh, I'm getting fucking pinged. Oh well. It's saying that, Al-Qaeda is really woke and shit, and alright, so I guess the crux of this dude's argument is that, bin Laden was an environmentalist. He believed in cancel culture, and he embraced the Islamist politics of victimhood. And 9/11 was a hyper-violent form of identity politics. Okay, no. That doesn't make you left-wing. Those things don't make you left-wing or woke, because, I wrote a list, because the right does all these things. Well, except for maybe the first one. So environmentalism, so ecofascism. That's a really warped form of environmentalism that basically says that humans are the problem and we need to kill off these people, and that, human rights and individualism are to blame for all our problems, including the environmental shit. And cancel culture, huh? Does anyone remember the Satanic Panic?
Oh, lordy.
Yeah. Or a bit more recently, a bit more topical too, remember what happened when the Dixie Chicks, they're called the Chicks now, but, when they came out, against the Iraq War, remember what happened?
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
they got blacklisted.
Yeah, they fucking right through a hissy fit over that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that was cancel culture.
Yeah. So, yeah, it seems like the conservative rights over here don't like cancel culture if it's aimed at them.
Exactly.
And, sometimes the aiming at them is completely justified because they're actively trying to fucking kill people.
Yeah,
Yes.
like, at that point, it's not cancel culture, it's accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the same kind of people that will also claim that you can't say certain words, otherwise you'll get canceled. Big one, of course. big one, of course, being the N-word, of course. Which, yeah, we're not going to say here because, one, no, and two, we're on Twitch. We would get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Is it Nori?
Yes, Mel, it is Nori.
Toasty.
But see, here's the thing, and in fact, us streaming this live on Twitch, it can give us a perfect example of that too. See, under our laws, under freedom of speech, we are legally allowed to say it if we want, but that does not come without consequences. If any one of us were to say it on this stream right now, then Twitch would be, and this would be in their terms of service, would be in their rights to say, hey, yeah, we are going to do anything from warn you to keep you from streaming on our platform. So that would be within their right. That would be a consequence. Just like you can't go into the middle of Harlem and scream that word out, especially in a racist manner, and not expect to get your ass beat.
Just like I'm not going to serve you if you come into my shop without a fucking mask on.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Consequences. And to bring it back to 9/11, the consequences for repeatedly fucking over in the Middle East. Boom.
Uh-huh.
So that's the consequences. Sadly, innocent people had to pay for the consequences of your honky white ass actions, American government. But
Homer, these people aren't science minded. They don't understand basic ass cause and effect.
Well, they do to a degree, I think. Because I'm pretty sure
They're selective.
Yeah, selective understanding. It needs to be not so selective.
How unfortunate.
Yeah. But, oh, God. So, did you... I kind of took us off on a tangent there, Scully. Do you have any more in your notes, or...?
A little bit more. Okay, two things. Okay, victimhood, huh? So, you mean the whole, us Christians are being oppressed. We're being oppressed in the most Christian nation in the world, or one of them.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a Christian in America, you've got it made.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a white cis male.
Yeah, at least in comparison.
Yeah, and, I mean, really, and also, the victims of Islamic fundamentalism are primarily other Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that, it's mostly other Muslims they're oppressing.
Yeah.
And, yeah, and, what about the right, saying they're being oppressed and they're victims of the government for having to get a vaccine or wear a damn mask? But no, you'd rather take ivermectin.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't help with viruses. In fact,
it's a dewormer.
Yeah.
It's for parasites.
Yeah.
Earlier, I was going to say hold your horses, and I said hold your ivermectin, or whatever it's called.
Nice.
And you know what? I have learned that there are, legitimate uses to having to take, a dewormer. Not necessarily horse dewormer, but, I think it's
It has effects on some viruses, too, but it's not the same. It's a particular kind of virus,
Yeah.
Not all viruses are the same. They don't work the same.
Yeah.
I've heard that they use it to treat malaria. I'm not sure, though.
I've actually heard more, It's like some sub-Saharan areas where like you get, I want to say it's like river eye or river blindness or something like that, where you get bit by a fly and the parasites end up like making a home in your eyeballs.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, brain-eating amoeba, fun.
Yeah. Well, more brain-eating worms, right? Actually, and thus you take the dewormer once a year for a number of years, and then you're fine. So that there is use for dewormers in humans. It's just what you're going for ain't it, Chief. Like, look, I understand why one might distrust the government, because of bullshit like Trump has pulled, that W has pulled, that honestly Republicans and Democrats have pulled. It's understandable. There's the joke of you can't trust a politician. That's why even in Star Wars, like Episode 2, Anakin makes the joke about trusting politicians or whatever or what have you. Granted, to his politician girlfriend, who's very understanding, especially after he backpedals. Is like, well, okay, most of them are untrustworthy, but that's beside the point. There is a reason why that the whole politicians can't be trusted is a joke in this country. Because most of them can't. They're in there for their bottom line. But at the same time, those same politicians should also, while lying to get into their positions most of the time, they also, there are some things that you just don't lie about, or you shouldn't lie about. You have a vaccine that can save the lives of many people. And, to be clear, 70+% of people in the country have at least one of their COVID shots already. That is some promising news. But the amount of people who are anti-vax or anti-vaccine or whatever, be like, well, I don't trust it coming from the government. And it's like, look, they're bringing out the scientists. They're showing their work. For all of the guff we give politicians, in this case, a good chunk of them are at least trying, which is a lot better than what Trump did, who was like, no, don't do that. No, it's not, no. To denial, to slowing things down, whatever, Because, well, Trump's ego is more fragile than China. And I mean the plateware, not the country. So it's like anything that could shatter his ego, it must be wrong. And he got a whole bunch of dumbass motherfuckers to believe it.
Yep.
Sadly, these dumbass motherfuckers are also spreading the COVID around the country, having it mutate!
Yeah.
And
I want to just say right now that there aren't words enough to express my disappointment in these people at large, just because, I mean, it's for a very selfish reason, though, and I want to say that my life has been sort of changed. I've been able to adapt and make my life better off with the given circumstances, but I'm a resilient person in general. I can't even imagine what a lot of my neighbors and shit are dealing with, but, like...
Yeah.
Fucking it sucks that because these assholes refuse to get vaccinated or do something as simple to wear a mask, that all of our artists, our entertainers, all these people can't go on tour. These people can't do the live shows. It's blowing my fucking mind that they're still following through and having Rose City Comic Con this upcoming weekend. I can't even. I mean, it actually started today. I can't even fucking fathom that. Like doing an indoor event with thousands of people right now. It's fucking bananas, and it's because of these fucking assholes that I have to worry about that. And I've been sewing masks since the beginning of quarantine, and I didn't have to, but I feel like it's kind of my duty to fucking do. I've been sewing for 20 years. It'd be a damn shame if I wasn't sewing masks, but it's like, I'd rather be making other fun art things and being on tour and traveling and meeting people and, experiencing life for what it's worth. But, there's a lot of things in place preventing that right now, and it sucks.
Yeah.
And I just want to extend a big old fuck you to everybody who's made it that much more difficult. So, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah. Next weekend is supposed to be my 20-year class reunion get-together. And while enough people are able to come, because vaccinated and everything, there's some people that wouldn't be able to because of COVID, and it's just, goddamn. So I don't know how many people are going to be there. It's probably not going to be very many, because a lot of us are scattered to the four winds. And again, COVID. And then again, we had the 10-year one, and not a lot of people showed up. At least not a lot of. I find it interesting in my school that the people of my graduating classes, the people who are most worried about gathering up for reunions or whatever, have been the black people, and thank goodness for them too, because it's like most of us white fuckers are like, whatever, you know. I'm of the opinion, like, if I'm here, sure, I'll do it. I might even come back for it. In fact, I did for my tenure, because it's like, yeah, sure, why not? I want to meet up with people.
Swiggity swooty, Gomer's looking for some booty.
But yeah, so it's just one of those things. It's one of those things that has definitely been affected by COVID. It's just, and of course, going out and eating at restaurants. It's only been recently that I have felt comfortable enough to actually eat at a restaurant. Now that I'm like fully vaccinated and I mask up unless I'm like actively eating. In which case, I sit far enough away from people that I make sure it doesn't matter. But you know, I take all my precautions. But it's only been recently, and even now, like the last time I went out to eat, I don't think I saw very many people wearing masks that weren't actively eating. You know, I'm thinking like the wait staff, and it's like, oh boy. And I get the discomfort of wearing a mask for a long period of time. No matter how good the mask maker is, you know, it does get uncomfortable after a long amount of time, because like most of my masks come from Mel, and Mel does a very good job with them. And
thank you. Unfortunately, they aren't available in the online shop until the end of this month, though.
Yeah.
So I got them all set aside for market.
Yeah, very understandable.
They'll be back though.
Yeah. So, but the ones that go behind the ears, I mean, I think like not this week, but like last week when I was doing plasma. No, it might have even been No, it was last week because it was the over-ear, because I had a different one this week. But the over-the-ear ones, you know, you wear them for several hours at a time, you know, it's going to put some strain on your ears. And yeah, that gets uncomfortable. But if you're in a place like a plasma center, they insist you mask up. I think they could be a little tighter because there are people that have the masks over their mouths but not their noses. But, you know, the phlebotomists running the floor, I don't look at so much with a side eye because they also have face shields. So that also helps contain any like nose breath or whatever. But for everybody else, we don't have an excuse. So, you know, so when you mask up nose and mouth, that's how it needs to be.
Cover your shit.
Yes, cover all your shit. Oh, but yeah. So to kind of put a bow on everything and close it out, 9/11. Was it tragic? Yeah, definitely. Just like any other attack that takes out innocent lives. Very tragic, obviously.
It was no good.
Yeah, but we also understand the things that led up to it. And we also understand that, as tragic as it is still basically the victim punching back at the bully. You know? I mean, it's sad that innocent lives got taken out in the process on both sides. Let's be fair. You know, it's just as tragic when they do it to us as when we do it to them. You know, because innocents do not deserve
and
to
the
be...
damage is still ongoing for all the people that are involved.
Yeah. So, you know, there are long-lasting effects for everybody involved. Like you said, you know, we're still all dealing with that here and over there. So it was tragic, and I will see it as such. But I will also see it as a tragic consequence of America fucking around way too much. And we found out that day. And we haven't learned a goddamn thing from it. Just goddamn. So yeah, fuck the conservatives, fuck the fundamentalists, and both Christians, you know, fuck fundamentalists in general, you know, religious fundamentalists in general.
Fuck anybody who says you can't live your life and, you know, just have a peaceful fucking existence.
Yeah. Your freedom ends where mine begins. You know, and specifically for your anti-maskers and anti-vaxxers. Your freedom to be comfortable without a mask ends where my freedom to not potentially carry the COVID, yeah, I'm vaccinated, it will not affect me as much, but I could still transmit it. Which is why I still mask up. So, So your freedom to not wear a mask ends where my freedom to not have and potentially spread the COVID begins. And I'm actually going to close on, there was something, here it is. Something one of my cousins posted on Facebook. Well, shared on Facebook, rather. And he says, if you have to carry a card in your pocket or pass on your phone, proving you injected a drug into your body to gain access to grocery stores, receive medical care, or freely move about society, then you no longer live in a free country, and you are no longer sovereign over your own body. And that should concern everyone, regardless of political party of medical choices. Motherfucker, there's a fucking goddamn pandemic.
Yeah. And, vaccine requirements have been a thing for, no one complains about, how you have to be vaccinated to get into school. No one complains about, having to be vaccinated to travel. No one did before COVID, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think these people just want something to bitch about because they're bored and don't have the mind to fucking stick to anything for any considerable amount of time.
Yeah.
They're as flighty as the media they consume.
Yeah, and it's like, and they have the nerve, the gall to say, oh, you don't have sovereignty over your own body. Mel?
Sorry, what?
Mel? How does it feel when somebody tries to take away your own bodily autonomy?
Me? Oh, I want to fucking murder them.
Yeah. And these guys
I wish them a very death.
Yeah. See, and these guys, like my cousin, have the nerve to say that having to get vaccinated and to wear a mask for public safety, that actually is a public safety issue, is the same as trying to force...
You know what that sounds like? It sounds like you ain't getting no pussy anytime soon, you little bitch.
Yeah. Oh,
dumbass motherfucker! Like y'all, I'm sure you all have your own wants and needs or whatever. But like seriously, if you're gonna act like a dumb bitch and fucking put other people in jeopardy, people are gonna call you out on it. Don't be a fucking prick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. And
then don't act like we're bullying you when we tell you that you're being a fucking idiot and that you need to fucking,
Yeah.
put others into consideration.
Yeah, and this guy is in my family. What the fuck is wrong with him?
I disowned my shitty family a long time ago.
Yeah. I don't outright disown family. I just keep him at arm's distance. Two reasons I keep him on my Facebook list. One, he's family, and that stands for a little bit of something with me. And two, just as importantly, it's so I can have a door and a window into how the other side thinks, quote unquote, the other side.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I do know he has a wife and family, and I would, let me sit me down with his kids, and I will tell them how much of a shitbag their father is for things like this, and tell them that he is wrong, and if he tries to complain, I'll be like, well, you are wrong. That was for family drama.
Do it. Get them really controversial books for the holidays.
There you go. What one of them was what, like the Anarchist Cookbook or something like that?
Do it.
But yeah. Oh, so on that note, on that admittedly sort of a little petty and family drama-ish note there, we're going to go ahead and get out of here for now. Mel, if we want to find you on the social media, where could we find you?
I'm on Instagram mostly, the real Mel Paradise, all with underscores, and I'm also sometimes on Twitter. I masquerade as my sushis because I don't want to interact with people on there, so it's at Sushi Party PDX. Yay. And then I'm on Etsy, of course, Etsy/shop/Mel Paradise. You can go to melparadise.com. There's a bunch of information and stuff there. Yep. Commission's open back up at the end of the month because I'm at Saturday Market till then.
Yay. And yeah, the link is still in the doobly-doo, always has been. And also, I know I've had the code. Is that still active or?
Probably. I haven't deactivated anything, and as far as I know, the codes that I gave you guys didn't have timers on them, so they should still work. And if not, you can always use the code. I think it's 2 kawaii for you.
There you go.
That's the number 2, the word kawaii, and then the number 4 and the letter U. And then it'll get you 10 or 20% off in the shop. I forgot. But yeah. So there's a coupon code for all you podcast listeners.
Yay! Coupon code.
And you get the code from Gomer.
Yes, which is in the doobly-doo. If you want to grab it up, it should still be there. But yeah, so Scully, where can we find you on the internet?
I have a link tree. It's linktr.ee/Scolipendra, Scolipendra.
Yay! And some happy news that actually you just reminded me of indirectly, Scully. I've been doing like the auto shiny hunting thing in Sword and Shield. So like right now it's hatching eggs for me, and I just recently completed the Scolipede line.
Nice.
I was like, oh hell yeah! And in fact, I think I have one to spare too. But yeah, so as for me, you can find me, I've got the link tree, linktr.ee/Gomer21XX. Of course, if you like this and you want to help support it, there's always the Patreon, patreon.com/Gomer21XX. If you're not watching this on Twitch, just go to twitch.com/GomerRantingThespian. It used to be the same as most of my other stuff, but somebody suggested, don't use too many numbers in your name or whatever, and it's like, all right, I'll give it a try. And it's actually a little bit more accurate. so that's always a good thing. And of course, there's also the Discord for the show if you want to hop in, say hello, share news stories, what have you. We'd love to have you. We're not too awful active in terms of conversation, but it's there. It is what it is. So yeah, that is going to do it for this week, and we will catch you guys next time. And until then, this is Gomer, the Ranting Thespian, with Scolipendra and Mel Paradise, signing off.
Bye.